able to, if they were to have done it in a different way, would have not been in the U.S. and fully launched it as a like they would have to launch Pi as a DAO from the get go, but that would have been very hard for them. So I didn't make the KYC rules. Obviously, it is um,
Any hope? Any hope for
it's its own.
those four countries we call out? Any hope in the future?
Yeah, and that's always been the challenge, right? Because like identity, um, identity, citizenship, and KYC is it's very different for each country, and there's no standard across that, and it's still that in itself is a massive blockchain. uh, there's been many products like Civic and others that are trying to solve that issue, right? They're trying to solve the KYC issue
Yeah.
of identity. For that, but there hasn't been like a proper way to do that, and I'd hope that again like there's two reasons again that KYC is happening. One, again, it's through regulations. I'm sure
Yeah.
that's what the legal said, and then second way is because of the mining fraud. People that are just mining too much. The mining farms for that,
So
but
we did a KYC space. I think our last space, apart from the Pi Day space, was about KYC, and it was solely based on that statement uh, that the core team said in the app that if the Pi KYC solution successfully verifies the identity of millions of pioneers, then it would be a revolutionary solution that Pi Network is providing to the world. It felt like it's such a big and ambitious claim. Like, what would the impact of that be in the space?
it it depends. Obviously, again, there are many people that never want a KYC, just because they want to be anonymous.
Okay.
And obviously, decentralization wants people want to be anonymous. Whereas on the other hand, though, in terms of the revolutionary side, though, like having an actual verified network is that is another challenge for a lot of the blockchains. Is like there's a lot of fake wallets, fake traffic, fake transactions. You go to like some other chains, there's a lot of fake stuff, and it doesn't really represent what's going on in that chain as well. So there's different layers or different angles to it. I don't have the right answers for it per se.
Okay.
It's just whether whether you're okay with it or not. That's a personal preference. But in terms of the impact, though, is if they do have a verified network of the size of potentially 30 million, it would be the largest. Then it would be regulated. It would be compliant regulatory as much as possible, and then also too, you could do a little bit more interesting financial transactions in the future for like DeFi and others as well too. But it depends on how you're looking at it as well too. I'm sure you guys, when you guys did your Twitter space about KYC, there's
About the KYC,
a lot of opinions on every angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
about
In fact,
But again, good. Sorry.
about KYC, I kind of experienced something that I felt I should bring to the platform. Is it global or is it concentrated in some regions of the world only? Because I'm in Nigeria and there is no KYC going on right now around my area
Yeah,
community.
I think it's regional. I haven't kept up with the most recent, because I've been focusing on my own thing, but I haven't seen the most recent KYC global project.
actually,
Uh,
KYC is happening in Nigeria. I mean, two of my earning teams, they have gotten KYC. In fact, one just called me yesterday the moment he got KYC,
Oh, really?
and he could not. Yeah, so KYC is going on in Nigeria. There are lots of KYC. I've heard of KYC in Nigeria so much.
Okay.
Yeah, please kindly mute your microphone. Your background noise is affecting.
Oh,
Yeah, KYC is live in Nigeria.
okay. There's a lot of
So
wind around me here.
yeah,
no worries, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think
okay.
it's still being rolled out. I have to get um, up to date with like how I from what I remember from working with the PyCore team, they definitely target per region as well. Test it out small and then make sure that it's working the way it is. If not, they have to go back, fix or reiterate, instead of like opening the floodgates. So they always like to do tests, small test batches across different segments as well. Very very methodical. But again, it's like as you said, there's definitely people starting to get it, but it's still not like the full access yet.
Okay. Okay, let's get more people to interact. You're unmute. I unmuted everyone, so get a chance. Go at it. Ask a question.
Hello.
Yeah,
What I
Peter.
want to say, what I want to say is that most of the time I've been seeing different images of phones, cars, and other accessories. Some will write 1 pi, some will write 0.1 pi, some like 10 pi. All those things, I don't know. Is there a way that it can be regulated? Is there a way that we can have something real? Or if such things are not real, then they should stop putting it on air. I've seen a lot of I've seen, I've seen iPhone 12, iPhone 13, will say 1 pi, some will say 5 pi. You see a very big car, will say 10 pi, 50 pi. So what's happening? I don't know. Where is it coming from? Thank you.
So you're saying that they're just seeing people like listing different items for different pie amounts?
Yeah.
Yeah, like people. It's always as with any crypto. Everybody's always trying to do price discovery, especially if it's not openly traded. Um, it it is very hard or impossible to value pi at the current state, just because like if you really wanted to find the value and everything, we'd have to first kind of like identify or find out even like what's the trading market cap and how much actually tokens are circulating and transferable or tradable. And we don't know that currently, just from tokenomics standpoint. And so um, if let's say theoretically, again, I know, theoretically, if pi was like worth $100, I don't think it is, but then what happens though is like if there's not very many people actually trading pi at the moment because it can't transfer, buy, sell, or trade, then the price will change because the next person that sells pi will want to sell it immediately and then crash the price, and then the price goes down. So the price discovery is not there yet because we don't know the how much tokens are in supply, how much volume it is. There's not real enough data until the tokens mainnet, and then also too until the token actually hits an exchange. So
Okay.
yeah, I actually don't know. I would hope so, but I when I left the PyCore team, I definitely, well, for me, I didn't really work on the KYC product as well. I know that the developers were solving it, but I don't know the rollout plan for the KYC global or countrywide. I would hope it'd be soon, but I I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. If, whether they're looking at the data and making sure that people are getting actual validated or not. I'm trying to I'm trying to also learn, but I don't talk to I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Wu. Mr. Wu.
Yep.
Yeah, so I have a question. It's concerning what you said earlier. I want to get more clarification about accounts cloned and people with multiple accounts. So I want to know if those accounts, when you know um, destroy destroyed, what will happen to those coins mined
Oh, are you
from
okay?
those
Yeah.
accounts? I
Yeah.
want to
That's
know what's
that's a
going
good
to happen.
yeah yeah that's a good question.
Right.
So when when they're looking at like fraud or the accounts that are botted or even doing bot referrals, they have to go through all the transactions and all the accounts they've kind of interact with. I don't know what the decision was, but I did think that from the time that I was looking at it, they would have to like negate or prevent all the tokens that were being created from that account from actually being passed, and even the referrals or referral bonuses from that. I'm not sure if that will affect the other accounts too, like the referral account. I think that they would minus or subtract that as well too, because they would flag that account not being um, passable, if that makes sense. So because right now we're not, it's on a closed mainnet. It is still be able to they can verify or allow the tokens to be unlocked or not. They can lock it or unlock it. So the people that have the fraud accounts, those tokens will just not be in circulating supply, and I think that they would not be. They just don't exist on mainnet.
All right. Thank you, thank you.
So you can imagine it from like because everything's verified that they can pass through and they're good. If they're not, then they're just not actually in circulation and they won't count, which is better for everybody in the network, right? Because you don't want to have that's like the goal is just to not have fraud accounts and fraud tokens in the circulating supply. That would cause even more inflation. It's actually better that there's less accounts and less token supplies in circulation. That means then there's less pie, which is better for everybody in terms of future value. I'm not going to speculate on current value because there's no current value. So the the more people KYC, the better the network. But also too, the many accounts that don't make it will make there be less pie in circulation, which is like those are not not free floating pie. So until that data comes out, that's like the important data to take a look at. If you're again like if you're just studying tokenomics is super important. But at the same time, though, you look at something like Ripple. Ripple has insane tokenomics where there's just crazy amount of supply, but they're still able to create value still. So there's a still good mix. It doesn't always tell the full story, especially if there's like 30 million plus people and more within the network for that. But I'd imagine once it hits the exchange, if and when the Pi token gets exchanged, it's going to have price discovery. People are going to still figure out the price of it, and it might be volatile still um, until it's fully exchanged and launched.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Justin, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Um, the data that will be gotten from the by KYC, is it going to be stored on the blockchain or is it going to be stored on physical normal web2 servers, or it's going to be stored on a blockchain?
Yeah, I actually don't know the answer. I've never dealt with the KYC side, so anything that went through the who was it the KYC partner. When it goes through the third party was handling the encryption for that. I don't know what the current. I haven't looked through like how the regional KYC or like the current mass KYC is happening and went through that whole process yet. So I don't really know for that what the answer is, whether it's stored on chain not stored and it's just encrypted temporarily or not, or stored on a Web2 server? Uh, that is a good question. I honestly do not know the answer, unfortunately.
All right, then we can say Pi is not 100% decentralized.
Yeah, the reality is it's not decent. Pi is still not fully decentralized yet, so that's just a fact. I know that the team and this is it depends. So, some projects out there are very centralized to bootstrap it, and then they gradually decentralize. There's projects like Shapeshift. They started very centralized, and then they went to a full DAO or DAO structure and decentralized it. Something like Luna. I'm a big Luna fan. Luna token, Terra Luna. Um, that's fully centralized, and then it's going to be eventually decentralized as well. So it some people see it as necessary to be able to stir or
Hello, Justin.
steer the company in a certain direction, but the goal is to be decentralized as much as possible. But I don't know the full plans for that yet for the PyCore team.
Hello. All right, thanks.
Hey, how's it going?